Welcome to another NEBA Spotlight. We have a major announcement for everybody in this group, everybody in the world, and no better than Merrill to actually tell the world about this amazing announcement, a marketing and podcast expert. So, Merrill, take it away.
Thank you very much, Greg. And without further ado, dun da da dun, we have got
Can't hear it.
Yeah, Merrill, I don't think
Can't
we can
can't
hear
hear
that.
it.
No, we cannot.
okay, that's odd because when I did stop share and share, okay, yeah, I did hit the buttons. Let's
We'll
try.
try again.
I'm Merrill Loechner, founder of Smith Douglas Associates, a creative agency down in New York. Can you hear it now? And now let's meet the board of directors of
Yep.
the New England Business Alliance. Greg, would you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Greg. I am the founder and CEO of
This
Connected Tech.
podcast, we can
Connected Tech
do
is
one-to-one,
the way that
we can
we've
do
seen our
large
best
groups.
networking partners give to us. And so that
And so let's talk. The NEBA now has a podcast. And so this gives you 30 minutes to talk about you and your business. You control the content, and this is important. You get to decide what you want to talk about, how you want to talk about, who you want to talk about it to. If you are in an industry where you need to deal with compliance regulations, I can work with you. I work with other industries that have compliance regulations. It takes a little longer to go through the process, but because you control the content, we can deal with any compliance issues that come up. You can do more than one. I have do this with another networking group. My insurance guy there does 4. He so far has done car insurance, homeowners insurance, flood insurance, renters insurance. I'm pretty sure we're doing umbrella insurance in a few weeks. You can partner with others and do a panel. I was just thinking you'd probably could do a really cool allergy panel with Deeple and Giovanna and Joanne and others. So it doesn't just have to be you. All the videos will be available on YouTube, and it's also still an audio podcast that you can pick up on your favorite podcatcher. Now, how is this going to work? Each episode is $200. I get some, NEBA gets the rest. You figure out what you want to talk about. You talk with me, we'll figure out the best thing to do with content and scheduling. We record your episode over Zoom, so you don't have to worry about any weird new software. I turn it into a video podcast and upload it to YouTube and all the podcast players. Now, why? Well, 3 reasons. One is we wanted to give all the members a value-added services. We're here to help you grow your business. So we're giving you another tool. We're also looking to bring more people in, find new and exciting people that can really help NEBA grow. And finally, NEBA wanted to start doing other things, but since we don't collect dues, there was no income. So this is one of the value-added things we're doing that will generate a bit of revenue to maybe build a website, host some live events, but it's a way to generate some income for the group without starting to charge dues. Now, who can do a podcast? To start off, we're asking that if you've done at least one member spotlight presentation. So if you have been around for a while, we'd love to give first dibs to the veterans who have been here and helped NEBA grow. After that, it will be wide open. And when can you start? Right now, except for I'm going to be on vacation next week. So we've got a little bit of a dead zone there, but you can reach out to me this week. You can reach out to me later in the summer. You can schedule a time on my calendar and I'll add that to the chat again. Figure out what you want to talk about. There's so many different things. It could be an introduction to yourself. You can do a very specific message to a very specific market. In another networking group, I had a cybersecurity guy talk for 30 minutes on New York State laws for New York State lawyers on cybersecurity. He's generated a couple of $1 million in revenue off that single episode because it was the right message to the right people at the right time. So you can go general, you can go specific. Again, you can do more than one. And after that, we'll set up a time to record and get started. So I am going to put some information in the chat. That is my calendar link. And it's also a bit.ly link that will show you where you can find the podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Audible, Amazon Music, and Spotify. And questions?
Merrill, just something to add to this. Well done. We are very excited. We really wanted to bring features to promote our members here. Okay, so a podcast can be upwards of $500 per episode, right? And so we wanted to bring these episodes at a discounted rate to anyone that is a part of NEBA, right? And so out of this, Merrill, what can they expect? So where are things going to be posted? What will they get out of this if they sign up with you?
Well, it's pretty much you will get out of it what you put into it. So we record whatever you want to record. It goes onto YouTube. It goes onto all the audio podcatchers. And then it's up to you, like Howie. Howie puts his on his website. And so when he meets people and they go to his website to learn more, there's this half-an-hour podcast they can learn and get an in-depth overview of who he is and what he does. I have someone else he recorded his frequently asked questions, put the podcast on his FAQ page. And then he also broke it up into 20 individual little audio bits. So he had an audio FAQ. We can also break down into short little 30-second bits that you can share on social media. You get the transcript, and that's 5,000 to 8,000 words that you can use as an article, a book chapter, multiple blog posts, several dozen tweets. So all this is generating a metric buck ton of content about you and your company for you to use.
Wow. Joanne, what's your question?
What is the format? Or will you be interviewing us? Or is it,
Yes,
I see.
I can interview you, or if you'd like to do a panel, like I said, if you want to get a whole group of health and wellness people and talk about allergies or immune process disease, you can do
Sure.
that too. So again, the content is up to you, but yes, it's interview style.
Okay.
Just be aware, no one wants to listen to your infomercial. So if you're thinking, great, I can do a 30-minute long sales pitch, please don't. No one's going to listen to it. You'll just end up shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
So
So
I can help you coach through the process of how to make it educational and entertaining without a long meandering sales pitch. Because if you start, I will stop you. So, and also this is recorded, this isn't live. So there's no stress. If you're worried or whatnot, you make a mistake, it'll get edited out.
so in that
Merrill,
FAQ, oh, the
no, go ahead.
FAQ, was it set up that way? You asked a question and he answered it?
Yep. Like I said, I create
Okay.
this the way you want it.
All right.
It's great.
Barry?
Merrill,
I see hold on one second. If you have a question, just raise your virtual hand. I believe Brian was next, if you don't mind.
Okay, Brian, then Barry.
Good morning, Merrill. How are you?
Mhm.
How are
Doing
you?
good.
Oh, good.
Doing
Perfect.
good.
Wait, so I have a question. Like my clients, they're not lazy, but they just don't have time, right? So they're more of that whole all-inclusive aspect. So when you speak about the advertising and the platforms that you are on, I'm assuming you are hosting it on NEBA's handle, or
Yeah,
you
it's
hosting it
under
okay.
NEBA's YouTube and the New England Business Alliance podcast on all the major podcatchers.
And
So
what
yes,
kind of reach do they have? Let's just say on Spotify, just for S and Gs.
a
Sorry.
couple of million.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Couple of million. Again, it's
okay.
there, especially on YouTube currently, there are 4.5 million podcasts out there. So just simply saying, oh yeah, I put it on YouTube, people will find it. Now you're going to have
Right.
to tell people, hey, look, I've got a podcast. You
So
send it to your email list, you put it on your social media, you link it on your LinkedIn. You tell
So
the
NEBA
world.
has a couple million followers or subscribers?
No, YouTube does.
Okay. Okay. How much, but my question, I guess to kind of narrow down, is how much of a following would NEBA have on these platforms? Be it
Great question. Let me
YouTube?
help you with that, Brian.
Thank you so much.
This is our first. This is new, so none right now.
Yeah, so far I believe our YouTube page has 2 subscribers. So yes,
Yes,
we are just
exactly.
starting. So
Yeah.
no, this is something that it's going to take a while to grow organically. So yes, if you do a podcast here, it's going to be up to you to get the word out. If you just sit there and wait for people to find you, you will starve.
So the pricing point is for the work that's being done, the edits, the
Yep.
time and management, not the actual marketing of it, right?
Correct.
Perfect. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you so much for explaining.
Not a problem, Barry.
Thanks, Merrill. First of all, this is to quote a New England term, a baggin. This is a real baggin. But seriously, so I assume this can be multimedia as well. So if you
Yep.
wanted to show images or PowerPoint or yada yada,
Absolutely.
the
The
great.
whole, again, you control the content. Now, if I think you're making a horrible mistake, I will stop you. But yes, you can have pictures in there. You can have other videos in there. So absolutely, this is a 30-minute format to showcase whatever you want to showcase.
This is a no-brainer. I mean, it's $200, folks. Come on, you spend more on that than coffee, for God's sake. So
Coffee.
Coffee. If you're in New York,
You
it's
walk-
coffee.
Yeah, for those in Long Island, it's coffee when
it's
you walk your
coffee.
dog in the morning.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Howie.
I have to say that, I did it with Merrill, like everybody else. I was very, very nervous. You're really out of your comfort zone, but it was so worthwhile. And she makes you look like a genius because she edits everything. So you don't have to get it right the first time. She'll stop in the middle. I just highly, highly recommend it.
Thank you, Howie. Agreed. Anyone else? Any questions, comments about this?
And again, I put my calendar link in the chat, and I also put a bit.ly link in there, which will show you where you can find the podcast on YouTube and the 5 major podcatchers. And at this point, I actually uploaded about 2 weeks ago, so it's actually been promulgated through most of the audio podcasters. So if you would like to subscribe, you should be able to find it on whatever podcatcher you use on your phone.
All right. Well, thank you,
So-
Merrill, for presenting. Merrill's contact information is in the emails now. It's in the chat. And so please start reaching out to her to start scheduling your first podcasts.